Hi there, everyone, it's me, TheDomotaku, and welcome back to the Citrus anime episode review. So today, episode 3. More Yuri, more kissing, more romance, more tension, everything great with this series. So, I forget exactly how they would resolve that whole situation with Yuzu and Mei and the grandfather, the chairman of the school, right? But it got pretty sorted out really fast and easily in the first beginning of the episode, because it leads off straight off from episode 2, where in the restaurant, Yuzu realizes her feelings of love towards Mei, and essentially afterwards, you know, she sort of, I love this sort of thing, how they do this in like an anime, because essentially, if you have this like sort of forbidden love as sort of like story plot, right, thing, then you have to like sort of mix it in well with how like societal norms and everything are sort of against that sort of thing. And they play it off well here, because of course, you know, Yuzu's sort of things like, you know, oh, you know, I'm in love with my sister, it's a girl, it's not a guy, I'm just like, I can't help it, and whatnot, right? So that just plays a lot of heavy, like, you know, like real life issues and tones in this anime, and I like that. It's like real life situational stuff, you know. That's how it probably could be for a lot of people, but I mean, this one they do it like greatly. So essentially, aside from that, so continues off with Yuzu trying to ask for her expulsion to be rescinded or to be redone so she doesn't get expelled from school. So she confronts the grandfather, and in the midst of that, he's having like some kind of heart attack or panic attack or some sort of medical condition. He's old, basically, so he's collapsed on the floor, and she helps him out, as anyone would probably do, calls the police or calls the ambulance, takes him to the hospital, and then just watches over and cares for him, and then contacts Mei. Good. And then now her expulsion is revisited, or not, is taken out, it was redone. She's not expelled anymore. So I was like, oh, that was easy. But it felt like felt like it should have been longer from my time reading the manga. But I mean, I guess it's easy as that. Like, that's how it went. You help her out, and then it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I was kind of a little bit too far with what I did, and since you helped me out, I'll take out your expulsion. I'll reconsider your expulsion. So she's done. So after that, now is the time when it confronts the whole confessing her feelings towards Mei and her sister, right? Because now she came back home. They have to sleep in the same bed. They share the same bed, and then there's still issues with that. And still issues with her confronting and projecting her feelings towards Mei, and how do you say it? What the hell's the word I'm thinking about right now? Confessing? I think it is confessing. I don't know what the hell's wrong in my head right now. I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. But yeah, basically she needs to confess her feelings towards Mei. That's the whole issue. And essentially, you know, she's reading into it with like Yuri manga and stuff with her friend, and things get a little bit heated on there, but that's how you do research, somewhat. You don't research through manga. It's not too credible all the time, guys. Still, calm down. So essentially, you know, she somewhat tells Mei that, you know, it's all her fault that she has these feelings for her because she kissed her the first episode. That was only episode 1. Wow, that was quick. And yeah, but she can't help it, and that she's sorry that she's a bad sister. Towards the end, they have this huge like fight because Mei discovers the Yuri manga in her bag at school, and they're just like, you know, what would happen if mom saw this? We just became sisters, and I'm gonna throw it away, and that was it, right? But then, you know, the whole situation with these two and their relationship, I guess, because they got somewhat closer as sisters, because, you know, Mei came back, they sort of call each other by their names for one, and what else? That's usually it. But essentially, still, they don't know anything about the other person. Yuzu doesn't know anything about Mei. Mei doesn't know much about Yuzu, although she's sort of really outgoing, and probably could tell from her outer appearance and her actions and whatnot. But, you know, there's still like a distance between them, right? You know, they might get a little bit closer. They call each other by names. They acknowledge each other as sisters and whatnot, somewhat. But there's something like keeping them apart. And it's probably because of like their background and where they come from and whatnot, and then just, you know, how their school is kind of freaking weird because they always have these strict rules and stuff like that. So yeah, there's the huge like conflicting thing that's keeping them apart, even though Yuzu totally realizes her feelings for Mei. Mei we don't know if she has true feelings for Yuzu at all. And I mean, if you did go that route, then you have to go like Mei, or not Mei, like Yuzu, where you accept the fact that you're in love with someone of the same gender, and your sisters also. That's like double the thing. It's like, okay, I like a girl, and we're sisters, we're siblings, and I'm just like, damn, that's 2 times the. Ooh, don't do that. But yeah, so that's what happens with that episode, and then I think they just like, I think the next episode, like, you have that girl, the Twin Tails, who's sort of really close friends and really close with the president. We don't know her. I forget exactly what her background is or her relationship is with the student council president Mei. So we'll see how that works out. But essentially, now that you have the whole school atmospherical thing with the chairman and the grandfather sorted out now, it's all about having to have these two work out their feelings, because as we see in the opening, you know, they kiss many times, so they're probably going to end up in a relationship somehow. It's just a matter of how they confess their feelings and when they confess their feelings, because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly from the manga, we need a certain someone to show up to have them sort of sort out their feelings again. That's what exactly, I can't spoil everything, but that's what my memory is telling me in a vague sense, because I don't remember all the details. For one, there's a lot more characters in this show that will show up and will make a huge importance to the plot and everything. But for now, their relationship still complicated. Like episode 1, it was complicated. Episode 2, it was complicated. Episode 3, it got better, but it's still complicated, and that's Citrus in a nutshell for the first 3 episodes. But yeah, so Yuzu taking the initiative though in this scene was pretty. It shows a little bit how she's grown in 2 episodes, which is really fast in my thinking about it. But anyways, yeah, you know, Yuzu acknowledges her feelings for Mei. She realizes that she loves her sister and that she loves her sister. I was about to say, like, she loves a girl, that's her sister, and I was like, the same thing, but you know, she knows this feeling deep inside, and she's saying like, oh, I'm sorry for being a bad sister, for falling in love with you and whatnot. And you know, she's still trying to become like the older sister type, or be, you know, like watch over her sister, stepsister, whatever. Mei needs to work out her quirks. We don't know much about her, to be honest, except the fact that she is the student council president, and her like whole like attitude and like emotions and whatnot. So we'll see how that works next week's episode. I'm pretty sure. What happened? I was talking about the preview, and then I totally mind blanked. But basically, I think after this, it's gonna start, you know, to question in their minds whether or not what their feelings are towards each other, and then we'll see some progress in next week's episode. So that's it for Citrus, the misunderstandings and dilemmas and conflicts of Yuri. Yeah, so that's it for this episode. What do you guys think about this episode? Do you guys think it was pretty good? It's still complicated. I think, like, you know, as a series about like a complicated relationship and Yuri and romance and everything, it's gonna have its complications. That's why, like, a good way to summarize the first 3 episodes is that it's really complicated, and maybe episode 4 will still be complicated, but maybe a little bit better, you know. So anyways, we'll see you guys next week for episode 4. Take care, guys, matinee, and I need to start sleeping early for some reason, so I'll tell you guys maybe someday later, but see you guys later.